hello. What are you guys doing here? How did you get here? It's good to see you guys. Thank you for bearing with me during my scheduling difficulties these past 2 days. I appreciate Dom C and Jeremy stepping in last night on the 10 o'clock mock. And if you guys were there, thanks for hanging out. I was completely and utterly unable to be a version of myself that you would have enjoyed. So I left it to them. By 10:07, I think I was asleep. So thanks to Dom C and to Jeremy. And again, thanks to all you guys. Radovan wants to know when does the show start? The show starts right now, Radovan. Right now. Hello, Radovan Merkovic. This is when it starts. It's good to see everybody. I want to say hello to Harry. Harry getting us started today with just breaking it down. Why even have a show anymore, right, Harry? Harry told us what I'm going to say. Look, he put it all in this comment right here. So I'm not going to repeat it, Harry. I love you. But I'm going to leave that for a few minutes from now. But yes, that is right. That's correct. Hank's here. What's up, Hank? Oh, Hank's adding to Harry. Oh, so Hank and Harry got it. I should just have you guys on, like Dom C and Jeremy. That's what we should do today. That's what we should really do. But thank you both. It's good to have you here. Good morning to both of you. Good morning to Vafadoost. He's here. Good morning to everyone. Look at how nice. To everyone. He didn't just choose somebody. Hey, good morning. He said good morning to everybody. Irving is here. What's up, dude? And Jets Forever with the traditional green heart saying, I love you before I'm about to absolutely dump an onslaught of insults your way. That's what he does. Here's my love. Now the game is on. Robbie Rhino's in the house. Afternoon, where the hell are you, Robbie? Oh, you're way. Oh, that's right. That's right, Robbie Rhino. Yeah, good afternoon. It's 9 in the morning here, 9:20 actually. But yeah. So look, we're going to talk about the deal. I see Racing Jason is here and Michael's here. Everybody. Jeff Otis Brown's in the house. Jets, Paulie. Bill's here. Celtic Jets. Look at all these guys. Ant Jets is, what's up, Ant Man? Good to see you. Anthony, Jake, Everything New York. Look at the Everything New York Jet Show is here. Good morning, Everything New York Jet Show. Is this Liam? Is that who it is? No matter who. Thank you for hanging out. So yeah, dude, we have a few things to discuss this morning, and I wanted to make sure that I did. I have a full day over here, as you guys may or may not know. I am currently in New Jersey. Last minute type of a trip. Had to get on a train, which I've never done before, which was interesting. You know, it's funny. I put it in Twitter yesterday, and I got made fun of. Thought everybody said, oh, congrats, first time on a train. Nope, everybody called me a loser. What do you mean you've never been on a train before? What is this? That's what I heard all day yesterday. So I've been on trains. I've been on subways, and I never did like train as travel instead of like a plane or a car. I never did that before. 6 hours on a train. I loved it. It was delightful. So I'm in New Jersey, and I'll be here for a couple of days. Then on Thursday, I go down to Florida, and I'll be there for a week. So a lot of traveling. So I'm going to try to do the best I can to connect with you guys, and we'll talk our Jets, and we'll do our shows and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so that's where I am. You see my background is slightly different, right, than usual. Slightly different. I have a beautiful mirror and some flowers. That's nice. It's nice to see the flowers in the mirror here. But the train ride, Paul, was thank you, Jake. I meant to say thank you. I appreciate that. Everything's good today. So thank you. Paul, how was it? It was good. I fucking loved it, man. I was able to imagine this. You know, like I drive this ride. You guys know, whenever you see me, whenever I'm at opening day or whatever, I drive up. It takes 6 to 7 hours, sometimes 8. Traffic, pain in the ass, aggravation, DC, Baltimore, Alexandria, the whole thing. And it's frustrating and you're exhausted. What I did instead was I sat down, I napped, I ate, I worked, and then I was here. Isn't that great? It was so wonderful. I really enjoyed it, so thank you. Here you go, Radovan. See? Give GreenBean a second. Oh, Green Bay. I see what you mean, Jets fan since birth. So, all right. So here's what we're going to talk about. The rumor is, good morning, Blade Runner. No Jets. No, Paris. Yeah, I'm in a different place. It's funny because I'm in Virginia and I have all the Jets shit. Now I'm in New Jersey and I have nothing Jets. I don't even have a Jets hat on. I do have a Jets hat with me. I should have wore it. Why didn't I wear it? You know why? Because it's fucking cold up here, dude. I dressed for Florida. I'm lucky I wore this. I almost didn't even bring this. I almost just got on the train from, it was like 70 degrees, 68 degrees? In Virginia, I got on the train. I got off in Newark. It was 50 degrees. I'm like, oh my God, it's freezing up here. It's freezing up here. What are you guys doing up here? Yeah, right, Nick's. I'm at Florham Park. I'm taking pictures. I got my camera out. It's been confirmed. Yeah, thanks, Twisted. I missed you guys last night. I almost, believe me, man, I kept second guessing and go, I'm just going to do the show. But I'm telling you, I would have been like this. What's next? That's what I would have been doing all night. I was destroyed. So the news, guys, as we know, and yeah, frozen beans, that's me. So the news, as you guys know, right, and what the main subject of the show today will be is the trade, guys. So we're learning more and more about the trade. Now, last week we talked a little bit about Tom Pelissero's report. Oh, no. Janine Garofalo's report, right? So Janine Garofalo put out a report that the Jets have made their offer. They feel it's a very strong offer, considering. And Joe Douglas has said, not publicly, but everybody in the circles knows. He knows he's negotiating against himself, and he will not do that. He's not going to outbid himself. He's not going to do that. He has the value established. He has the offer on the table, and Green Bay is the one bucking the trend as if they have more leverage than him, right? So, and we've talked about this. We've gone round and round and round. You know, my thoughts for a long time was that it was going to be a first. I don't know. I just thought first round pick, fucking MVP quarterback, get him in here, call it a day. But it turned out Green Bay wanted even more than that. So I don't know if that was the thing where Joe Douglas said, well, now you're not even getting that, or Joe Douglas was never given the first or whatever. But now we know that after that report of Joe Douglas being aware, he's not Mike McCagnon, he's not John Idzik. He's not going to get slapped around. He's the boss. He's the alpha in the room. And he said, look, here's the value of what we're looking at here. Here's what I'm going to give you. He has already said this is his intention to come here. If you don't send him here, you got $56 million on your books this year. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Make a decision. And he said, and we'll get to that in a few minutes, in his presser, I don't feel there's any particular sense of urgency in the trade. We're not feeling much urgency right now. We're preparing for the draft, and that's what he said. I love this guy. Think about where we've been, man. I mean, the best we could say was Mike Tannenbaum, and he was a glorified accountant. It wasn't a player person. Let's just be real with each other. He had his personnel. That's why every coach that came in with Tanny was able to put their impact on it, because Tanny doesn't know football. He's an accountant. Now he knows deals. Tanny was good with the deals. If he knew how to get the job done. That's the truth. But he didn't know football. What's Ron Weiss saying here? What's this New Brunswick stuff? Let me see what Ron's talking about real quick. What the hell's going on? You're in South Bronx. Oh my God, there's so much going on with the Brunswicks. Brunswick Stew, everybody. That's the end of it. Brunswick Stew, call it a day. Okay. First comedy show I ever did was in New Brunswick, the Stress Factory. Years and years ago, Drunken Bean, talking about the Jets. Honest to God, my first comedy show, I talked about the Jets. I swear. That was my first bit ever. The Jets. So now we know, guys, that it's coming out that in large part, the deal is done. The deal is already done. And for the most part, right, the basic construct of the deal is in place. There's one more hiccup. There's just one hiccup. Paul's in New Brunswick. Buttery Paul. We love Buttery Paul. Like, hey, I'm going to chime in. I'm in New Brunswick. He's in New Brunswick still. That's right, right? It's right, downtown New Brunswick. And my buddy was in the frat house. And I used to go down to Rutgers years ago and try to get in frat parties. I wasn't even in college. I would just go. You know what my trick was? And it didn't always work, but my trick was to Find girls that were walk like before they got to a party and try to schmooze with them and then go to the party with them. You know what I mean? They'd be like, no, they're with us. Then nobody turns down girls. Just the way it's the truth of it. I showed up at clubs like that, at party. You got to find girls. You hang out a block away from the club and you go, hey, what's up? Let's go into the club together. Let's hang out. I'll buy you guys a bunch of drinks. Like, hey. And then you go in. And then they go, oh, who's with you? These 4 girls and me and him. They're like, go ahead. If you walk up, you go, it's me and him. They go, stay here. That's what they do. You ever wait outside of a club? I don't know if they even do that anymore. Back in the day, outside of the Palladium or the Limelight or what the hell's the other one I used to go to? What's the other shits we used to go to? I used to go to the Palladium, the Limelight, the Tunnel. That was the after hours place. What was the place that had 4 floors? Started with a W. I want to say fucking Westminster. That's so stupid. Webster Hall. Thank you, Hannah. Webster Hall. So that's what we used to do. You got to get the girls. So anyway, I used to go to frat parties and shit down there. I used to go to the Grease Trucks. The best place. Rutgers is the shit. Make no mistake. It's terrible football players, but great environment. So now we know, guys. Stop distracting me. Dom C's here. Look at this. Hey, good morning. Thanks again, Dom. I was thanking you a minute ago. So thank you again for last night. Dom C held up the 10 o'clock mock. So thank you so much. Dom C and Jeremy from Jets Chaos took control. They gave me a parachute last night, and I am grateful in my heart for them. So thank you, Dom. Good morning to you, sir. And yeah, so now we know, right? So what is the hiccup? So basically what we're saying, they think it's 2 picks. 2 picks. A high pick this year and a high pick next year. Now, people have assumed that that means a second this year and a second next year. We don't know that. We don't have confirmation, but it could be. Let's assume it is for a moment. So Joe Douglas is willing to send them 43. I want 42. No. We'll see if it's 42 or 43, right? So they'll send them pick 43. And then, because you can't give a spiteful team the pick before you. You can't do it. Whoever you want, they're going to take them. It's just the way it's going to go. I agree with that. Somebody said that the other night. I thought that was fantastic. That was a really smart observation. So so we give them a second. We give them 43, and let's say it's a second next year. Joe Douglas is saying, hey, I'll give you a second for next year. But if he doesn't play, I want a 4th round pick back. That's what I want something back. And they're saying, why would we give you anything back? Just make the trade, dude. And he's saying, well, because I'm not giving you 2 picks. If it's just a trade, then I'm giving you 1 pick for the 1 year that we think he's likely to play. I'm not going to give you 2. So this is where we are. So let me point something out. The fact that we are not talking about pick 13 anymore, but don't forget, guys, and we did a confirmation one way or the other, hasn't been there, but we do have significant support for the idea coming out of Green Bay. Don't forget, Green Bay isn't Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas runs a tight ship. Green Bay, they're all over the place. Right? They don't do this. They're not even free agent people every year. They're just kind of like, they're not in this ilk, this yucky pool that we live in. So coming out of Green Bay was that not only did they want pick 13, but they were trying for a 1st round pick next year. Right? So that's so going from 2 firsts to 2 seconds is already a huge deal. Okay, huge. Especially when this year's is 13, right? So the argument would be that next year's pick is going to be 32 or 31 or 30 or 29, right? That's what we want to say. So the whole thing with this is now Joe Douglas is saying, I will not give you 2 picks unless if he decides to retire, I get some of that value back. And Green Bay is saying no. And Joe Douglas is out there saying, Hey, we don't see any real particular urgency here. And I'll find that for you. Hold on. We're going to listen to a little bit of Joe Douglas this morning. Would that make you okay? Right after I get to Michael and his lovely, appreciated super chat. Hold on. Let me just see this, Michael. I want to find out.
Testosterone
Makes
a man. But
really?
if you're eating foods that raise your
Hold
estrogen,
on. This guy. He's everywhere. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see.
Hold on.
Forget it. I'll do it here. So, all right. So we'll talk about Michael, and then I'll show you some Joe Douglas stuff. So, Michael, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, "Hey, from Germany, yo, that's the best. Truly international. We have all sorts of countries represented. We got the UK, we got New Zealand in here today. Now we have Germany in here today. Obviously, plenty of states in this country that I reside in currently. So, thank you guys. It's amazing that we have visitors from around the world here. It's great. My 2 cents on this. This would be awesome, but I really would like the 2025 compensation pick back, or rather a conditional 24 pick lower than the second round. Just my gut feeling. Well, you know what, Michael? That's kind of what's being said. Now, we're talking about 2024, right? So just to clarify there. So this draft is a 2023. Next year being 2024. I haven't heard anything really added about the about 2025. That'd be interesting if there was any of that in there, but just to assume that you meant 2024. Right. The sticking point right now is Joe Douglas is saying, look, I'll give you the pick. If he stays, keep it. But if he doesn't, I want value back. Now, he's not even asking for all of it back. But let's say this. People are assuming it's 2 seconds. What if it's a second this year and a conditional third next year? So what if I'll give you a second, that's yours. That's a second. I got a high second round pick. Take it, that's yours for Aaron Rodgers this year. Next year, if he plays, I give you a third. If he doesn't play, you give me a fourth. You keep the third, but I get a fourth. That sound good? You know what I mean? So Joe Douglas, now I'm going to show you something. What he said a couple really good things. Now we'll start with this one. Now it's really about it's the subject is Lamar Jackson, but it's really about this trade. Now listen to this, okay? It's really cool. And you're going to see, again, to all the Joe Douglas detractors, I need you to listen to this. Okay, I need you to listen to this guy. This was Rich Cimini, the grimester, the grime king, the guy looking for scoops and sound bites. He asked, hey, so what's your interest in Lamar Jackson and what do you think the value is and all that kind of shit. So this is Joe Douglas, is what he says. And again, it's about Lamar Jackson, but it's really about the trade and the way he negotiates. Okay, so listen to this answer.
First of all, Lamar Jackson's a fantastic player, but where we stand is it would be disingenuous and operating, negotiating bad faith if we went down that path. So right now we have our plan, we have our process, and we're sticking to that.
With the Packers and not trade.
Okay, so do you see that? So what did he say there? He said, "Look, Lamar Jackson's great, right? We all know that, but it would be disingenuous and negotiating in bad faith if I was to get this far. I wouldn't want them to do this to me. I wouldn't want to get this far and find out, hey, we traded him to the Raiders. Sorry, dude. Why am I waiting here with you? You know what I mean? That is a bad look, bad karma, all that shit. Bad optics, bad, taste in the rest of the league. Nobody's going to trust you moving forward, right? And I wouldn't want it done to me. So, yeah, Lamar Jackson's great, but we have a plan here. We feel good about the plan here. We feel like it's almost done, and I'm not going to do that to them. Whether they're pissing me off or not, it would be disingenuous and negotiating in bad faith if we were to pivot midway through and go get that guy. Now, if the Aaron Rodgers deal falls through, okay, maybe. But he doesn't want to do that. Now, does that not give you a sense of who this man is and why? Like when, look, we say all the time, people are going to stop answering his calls. They're not going to stop answering his calls because they know if they're on the phone with him, this is the guy they get. That's right. Snoopy says JD is basically saying, get your shit together. Let's go. But now look, I'll find this too. I'll find another part for you guys. Bear with me. Wait.
Conversations, and obviously we're not where we need to be yet, and but feel like we're in a good place.
Do you have a deadline on when you
This is it.
have something done?
Yeah, I would say there's no hard deadline, and there's not a ton of urgency from our standpoint right now, but still very optimistic.
Is it your
There's not a ton of urgency. Dude, this is this guy. I want to point something out. He's not answering questions right now. Okay? He's not. He's using, how they're trying to use him to get gotcha clips and all that. That's what they're doing. They're trying to get their story, right? Whatever story they're seeking. Some guys want to tell you what's happening, tell you the news. Some guys want to desperately trick him into saying something that they can exploit and make into a huge circus. That's what they're doing. Joe Douglas, on the other hand, knows that. And he's going to use them to get his negotiating points out to the public so they can be consumed by talking heads and regurgitated through those talking heads to the fans, who will then allow the world to see their emotions about this. Joe Douglas just said publicly, no urgency from my end. I'll sit here all day. I'm fine. We feel good. We're good. There's no particular urgency. Here, look, listen to it again.
want to have something done?
Yeah, I would say there's no hard deadline.
No deadline. We're fine.
There's not a ton of urgency.
Not a ton of
from
urgency.
our standpoint right now, but still very optimistic.
We still feel good. What's that? We still feel good. Well, they'll come around. We still feel good about where we are. Do you see it? So that what Joe Douglas just did was he put out to the world, to his media arm, he put it out to his guys. He knows what they're going to say. Joe Douglas is talking shit, or whatever they're going to put out, right? Today and tomorrow and this week. Joe Douglas smears Packers, whatever, So he let them know. So then the national media is going to pick it up because right now this is the NFL story. Whether it's Aaron Rodgers or OBJ or Ezekiel Elliott, it's the New York Jets. We're on the tips of everybody's tongue right now, right here. That's where we are. So he's letting the world know what's going on. He's going to give it out to them. They're going to consume it. They're going to fucking talk about it and dissect it. And they're going to talk about how Joe Douglas's balls are bigger than the Packers GM's balls. And they're going to do all this sort of stuff. Look at him. He's cool as a cucumber. And the Packers are going to get this and sweat. That's what's going on. Now, they might know, and they might go, I ain't sweating for that. I know. We already said that. That's possible. But that's what he's doing. It's every chance you get, you make them sweat. That's what you want to do. So let's see what else he says here.
Is it your impression that it's going to get done? It's just a matter of when?
I mean, we're going to have to let this process play out. And so obviously we're not exactly where we need to be at this time, but we're going to let this process play out. And ultimately we do feel good about where we're at.
So he says, look, he tried to, okay. Do you think it's ultimately going to happen, though? Do you think it's going to happen? Now, what if he said yes? What does that mean? Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to happen. That could mean two things. One is, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm going to pay what they want. At the end of the day, it's going to happen. Don't worry about it. If he says yes. Or it could mean, yeah, he's saying publicly, they'll cave. Don't worry about it. It's going to happen. You see what I mean? Either way, it's really a negative. Sure, there's a third in there, but that's much, 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 much quieter. It's either, if he says, yes, it's definitely going to happen, that means one of two things. I'm going to cave, or I believe they're going to cave. And that's not good. So what he said is, we're not where we need to be, but we're still optimistic. What does that mean? I believe in the relationship. You see the difference? Words matter, everybody. I teach my kids this stuff every day. Words matter. How you say something. Like one of the things I did as a director for years, right? I've given thousands of directives over my career. Thousands and thousands and thousands of directives to professional people with heads full of who I am, right? Sometimes I would give a directive that I think is benign. It's nothing wrong. Hey, by the way, can you do the thing, Baba you Broop? And they go, oh, and they do a thing. And I would stop them and I would say this every time. What are you hearing me say? That's what I would say. What are you hearing me say? Just come here, give me 30 seconds. What are you hearing me say right now? And they go, well, that I'm a fucking piece of shit. And I blah, blah, blah. And I go, oh, all right, sit down. If I was hearing that, I would be upset too. But I'm not saying that. Let me repackage this for you and say it this way. And they go, oh, thank you. That's much, much different. Yes. Now, why did the breakdown happen? Who knows? Maybe it's on my end. Maybe they're sensitive today. Maybe their mother is sick. Maybe somebody just called them fat. What do I know? But we got to give that, you got to give that second. You got to listen, right? Number one. But number two, words matter. Joe Douglas is a master at this. He has yet to say the wrong thing. The only thing you can bust his balls about, and believe me, people have written me DMs or in the comment section said this shit, that the only thing you can say is he's a liar. Remember that shit? The first 2 years, he's a liar. He lies. Joe D is a liar. Why is he a liar? Well, he said Jamal's going to be a Jet for life. He actually never said that, by the way. No, I don't see it that way. No way, Randy. Because they know the comeback would be, we're not even, dude, it's March. They can't even talk. They can't even talk to the train. They can't do it. They can't even talk. Like the coaches aren't allowed to meet with the players right now. It's a whole thing. There is no urgency. Like that's what he's saying. Like, there's no fabricated urgency here, Randy. He's making sure that we know that. I'm in no rush. I got his offensive coordinator. They won multiple MVPs together. Oh, by the way, I have his number one wide receiver last year. They're going to be running the same system that they were all in a year ago. Plus, it's a West Coast system. That just so happens to be what we've been running for 2 years. I have no urgency. None. Aaron Rodgers is going to come in here, instantly be the greatest quarterback in Jets history. Obviously, Namath, I know. So let's say since Namath. Right? But the reason that people said Joe Douglas was a liar is because he would say things the right way and then do what he needed to do nonetheless. Jamal Adams was a big, figurehead for that argument. But Joe Douglas never said Jamal's going to be a Jet for life. He said the plan is for Jamal to be a Jet for life. That's what he said. But he was lying nonetheless. He has to lie. You understand? It's not lying. It's negotiating. It's protecting. It's, positioning. Anybody who takes that and goes, liar, doesn't know shit about shit in the world, man. I'm going to tell you right now. You can't negotiate and just blah. Here are my real feelings. I can't believe you're going to sell me this house for so cheap. Holy shit. I would pay $150,000 more for this house. Really? Then I'm going to charge you $150,000. It's like when people go in, they go, what's your best offer? My best offer is what I gave you. But tell me what your counter is. What's my best? Oh, well, it's $100,000 more than I just said. That's my best offer. No. Then you're a liar. You gave me lower than you wanted to pay. Like, you know what I mean? It's silliness. 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 That's what it is. Hey, O'Leary's in the house. What's he doing? What are you doing? Good morning. Matt O'Leary says, why not just get it done? Everybody's hanging out together. Right? Matt's got a plan. That's the Matt O'Leary plan. Just do it. It is coming. It's coming any minute, dude. They got it. They're done. Green Bay is going to cave and give us watch here's what it's going to be, Matt. It's not going to be 2 seconds. It's going to be a second and a third and a fourth comeback if he doesn't play. They keep the third and we take the fourth. That's what it'll be. And essentially Joe Douglas would have got him for $150. That's what he would have got him for. He got him for Elijah Moore and a third. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be sick. It's great, dude. Let's listen to some more Joe Douglas. Are you in, Matt? Good morning, buddy. It's good to see you, man. I got to text you and Ryan. I meant to do it yesterday, but my day was consumed. I'll tell you what's going on in a little while. Give me a half hour. Hey, look at this. Joe Sargo. That's my cousin Joe. I texted him before here. I said, I gotta call him too. But what's up, Joe? It's good to see you. It's good to see you here. Sargo 10. He runs Movie Time Cars for Films. You know all those stories I tell every now and then? When I go, oh yeah, I used to work props or movie cars for Law and Order, SVU. They go, bullshit. Joe, they don't believe me. They don't believe me that I used to drive ambulances around the corners and in the rain, when they would wet the streets. And they don't believe me when I used to do that shit. They don't believe me that I used to do AC/DC videos and hang out with Robin Williams. They don't believe me, Joe. That's all his company. He'll tell you. True. Ooh, story. See, look at that. He'll tell you right there. Ooh, story, everybody. Ooh, story indeed. Yeah. Right. Piddly Poo has a good point. Green Bay's business is about giving Aaron Rodgers the business end. They're all in bad faith. Jordan Love, pay attention. This will be you. They did the same thing to Brett Favre. So, think about this. Now, look, number one, Green Bay, you got to give it to them, guys. You have to. Their formula has been, as far as on the football field, multiple MVPs. In the last 20 years, they've had 7 MVPs years, quarterback. Okay? In the last 20, whatever, he's 18, he was 15, whatever. So that's fucking 30 years. They have 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks consecutively. No break. Cannot take that from them. But what they've done during that process is they've taken the feelings Brett Favre with Green Bay toward the end of his fantastically heroic career. They drafted a first-round quarterback and let him know, by the way, we don't love you like we think you think we love you. We're already working on your exit. So then Brett Favre treated Aaron Rodgers like shit. Aaron Rodgers was resentful. You know what I mean? The whole thing with that. For 3 years, he sat behind a Brett Favre that made his life hell. He knew this is the guy that's going to replace me. Well, watch this. Watch what I do to him. Now, Aaron Rodgers comes in. He's an MVP quarterback. He wins a Super Bowl, the whole thing. And then they draft in 2020. They do the same thing to him that he did to Brett Favre. And now he gets the other perspective. So what he did do, though, he got pissed, but he said publicly, and he's done this. He said it's not Jordan's fault. Jordan didn't do a damn thing. That was what he learned through the Brett Favre thing. But what did Green Bay do? They took a second Hall of Fame quarterback. Instead of letting him finish his career and then figuring out what's next, they decided to draft a quarterback while he was still playing at an extremely high level. And what did he do in response? Since they drafted Jordan Love, he had 2 consecutive MVP seasons. Made it to the championship game. And then last year, obviously he had a different offensive coordinator. They took his number one wide receiver in Devontae Adams. He had the broken thumb, but he still threw for 3,800 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 12 picks. Still top 10. That's what he did. 2 MVPs and a top 10 quarterback in response to them drafting Jordan Love, all the while being cool and helping Jordan Love. And Jordan Love speaks glowingly about Aaron Rodgers. At least in something I saw. I looked into that. I don't know if he's also said something negative. I didn't see it. Hey, Captain K Techno, we now have Ireland in the house as well. So, but what are they doing? So, number one, they're doing it for the franchise. That's been working. It's the exact same formula. 3 years later, now they're doing it to Aaron Rodgers. But what they've done is they've taken those great MVP Hall of Fame quarterback stints. I have stents on the mind. Stints. And they completely poured dog shit all over it. Why? Well, because the team's more important than you. And Aaron Rodgers said it on McAfee. He said, let's just make this clear. The ball started rolling, the machine, the wheels in 2020 when they traded up in the first round to draft my replacement. Just because I've been playing MVP level ball and like kind of put a stick in their spokes, that doesn't mean anything. Their plan was to move on to move on from me. And it's got to feel like shit. What's she barking at? Nothing, right? Dogs. I'm the worst, Matt? Get out of my show, Matt. Get out of here. Joe Douglas truthers are the worst. Please explain to me why Joe Douglas is a bad GM. Please explain to me. Since he's been here, everything has improved. He's torn this shit organization to the bones. And we've had steady increase in wins, steady increase in drafts being good, multiple rookies of the year. We got Hall of Fame players that want to fucking play here. Please explain to me. Matthew, you butthole. I'm not in a hotel, Ron. I'm in my sister's house. No, I'm from here, Ron. I'm fucking from here, man. You don't hear my funny accent? I'm from this fucking place. That's why I like this team. Guys, beat up Matthew Smith in the chat. I know. It's just the funniest thing. Isn't it? Look, Jets Forever even. Jets Forever is the harshest critic in the world, except for Zach Wilson and Mimsy, of course, and Nasruddin and Sherwood. He's got those guys too. Who else? Rucker. He's got some guys. I mean, look, But Jets Forever is hard to please. And he's, he doesn't get it with the Joe Douglas shit. Salty Nuts. I guess it's pretty clear now Woody doesn't have his foot on JD. Dude, to me, Salty, I just, again, I understand why people say it, because for over 10 years, he was in it. Nah, the coach and the GM are the same. They're going to report to me. That's like who he was. You know what I mean? And then they're terrible. He's got to fire him. And he goes, I don't even know. How do you hire a coach? How do you hire a GM? Vaffaduced with the opposite. There it is. I know. It's like, dude, the development. I mean, there's so much. We are a completely different organization. Completely. 3 years ago, we were so bad that the idea of us having the number one pick was undigestible to the national NFL at large. They couldn't believe that we were going to be rewarded. A shit team like the Jets gets a beautiful, pristine prospect like Trevor Lawrence. Remember this shit? That's how truly bad this was. It wasn't that we were the worst team in the league, and that we were just bad. It was that we were inept. There's a difference. Every team goes through losing seasons, and you lose your players, and you have injuries, and all that happens. The Jets had a decade or more of perpetually ridiculous moves. As fans, now I don't know if Matthew Smith and the rest of the Joe Douglas hate club is, and Matthew, if I got that wrong, tell me. I'll correct myself and apologize. But right now, that's what I have you. I have you categorized. But, oh, no, I lost my fucking train of thought, Matthew Smith. Damn it. Oh, there's a difference between ineptitude and just being bad. Like, we were so bad that the idea of us getting someone was also, as fans out here, somebody like myself who was actually paying attention. Don't forget, 12 years ago, I was already doing what we're doing with the draft. 12, 15, 17 years ago, I was doing this shit. Now, I didn't have PFF and PFN and Pro Football Network. I didn't have all that shit. Mock simulators. We didn't have all this cool stuff. What we had is paper. We had to go get the paper or have magazines delivered to the house. That's what we had to do. So it was even harder. And any of the guys on Jetnation, right, Matt, that's funny. Matt, where'd it go? This is how you trigger Bean. Talk nasty on Joe D. I can't have it, Matt. And look, when he does something stupid, I'll say it, dude. When he does something I don't like, I say that too. He doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to, bow down. He's not infallible, right? I don't like every move. I don't like every pick. You want to see a pick I didn't like? Here, I'll show you. Let's show you how smart I am. Right. Here we go. Let me show you how smart I am. Here we go. Hold on. So you guys can see this. This is called humility right here. Watch how humble I am. You'll see. Look at how humble I am, everybody. Applaud my humility. All right, here we go. Sorry, Matt. Here it is.
With the fourth pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Sauce Gardner.
Holy shit! That's what I'm talking about. Oh
Wow!
It's misty here.
Oh, I can't believe it. I am shocked.
Gave me a damn heart attack.
I'm shocked.
Wow.
I really am.
Dude, I love it.
So Ryan loved it. Matt was shocked, and I wasn't happy. I'll be real straight. I knew we were getting a good player. Uncle Aaron, what do you mean too much time? I'm having fun. This is fun. You don't like it? You don't like when I fuck with people? Get out of here. Get out of here, Uncle Iro. Get out of here. I love doing that shit. James Moore. I know. Here we go. James Morgan, right? James Morgan. Here it comes. 2020. Is what? Look, again, I'll say this. It is better. I'm just going to explain this. This is simple, okay? It is better to start. You never did something before. It is better to be bad in the beginning and progressively get better than it is to start never doing something before and be like a phenom. Oh my God, look how great he is. And then go worse. It is better the first way. That is what Joe Douglas has done. His first draft, it's spotty. His second draft is strong. Not immaculate, strong. If all we get out of that draft, okay, if all we get out of it is AVT, Michael Carter II, Brandon Eccles, and Jamie and Sherwood, it is a fucking strong draft. The fact that we missed on Zach, it looks like we don't know. They're doing a thing. It might work. Who knows? We'll table that, right? Don't look good right now. The fact that he missed on Zach is a huge whiff. But guess what? He also nabbed AVT in the same draft. Now he's injured, so there's that question. But can you deny how good that kid is? Can you deny that he's going to be a perennial Pro Bowler and intermittent All-Pro? That's what we got. We got in the 6th round our starting nickel. He's one of the best starting third cornerbacks in the NFL. Jamie Sherwood is second on our team in special teams impact behind a Pro Bowl special teamer in Hardy. And he's being developed to be a starting linebacker. Like everybody's, give it, dude, you got to give the back end of the draft a few years. Brandon Echols, he pushed Bryce Hall down to the inactives. He's our first depth piece. It's funny. So that's why we got to have the trade. I mean, we got to have the faith in the trade. Joe Douglas right now, believe me. Where's Matthew? That's right. See, Matthew Smith has now founded league. He's found it. Uncle Iro. Man, Uncle Iro, you got your supporters, buddy. So it's good. It's good. There it is. O-line guru. We have one good O-lineman. Is that what you think? Is that what you see? That's what you see? Okay. If that's what you see, then that's what you get. Joe Douglas has used, let me just tell you this, Drew Pacabra. The previous 5, let me say this. The previous 7 years, you saw 4 draft picks used on offensive linemen. 4 in 7 years of drafts. Maybe 5. I think it's 4. It might be 5. In 7 years of drafts. In Joe Douglas's 3 years of drafts, we have 4 used on offensive line. 2 were in the first round. Both were top 15 picks. Okay, and we're going to do it again this year. Injuries are injuries, buddy. It happens. Injuries are injuries. And dude, Cam Clark, you know how solid of a pick that was? He's never injured in college. He was a road grading, nasty tackle that was going to move to guard. The first year was going to be a developmental year, switching positions, playing special teams, maybe getting some spot duty. He got injured, never played a snap. Next year in training camp, they had a 3-way battle going on with Van Roten, the other guy that ended up retiring. What the fuck was his name? And I forget his name. He just retired. Remember? Out of nowhere. And it was Cam Clark, AVT. I'm not AVT. I'm sorry. Greg Van Roten and the other guy. AVT was given the one position, and we had a 3-way battle going on the other one. The guy retired, and Cam Clark broke his neck and had to retire too. We lost two retiring people at one position, and we were left with Greg Van Roten. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what people see. Like, you cannot predict. He's never been injured in college. Go look. He came into the NFL and everything crumbled for the poor kid. He had to retire. You think that was easy? Again, 4 draft picks in 3 years. 2 of them were first-round picks. That's Joe Douglas. Dude, he's putting in resources into the offensive line. He's making the right picks. Injuries are injuries. Maybe this fucking turf thing that we did will stop this madness. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I'm giving you perspective, Drew Pacabra, because you're a low-hanging fruit guy. You know, you like to take the easy arguments. So I like to meet you there and show you I can out-ridiculous you anywhere you want to live. So let's do this. Did you see the Robert Saleh thing? Downtown Dwayne Brown. Did you see the Robert Saleh? Robert Saleh gave us some interesting indications, guys. We went into this offseason thinking about a couple players that were definitely going to get cut. Who were they? Give me the top 3. Top 3 in the chat right now while I address Buttery Paul. Okay? I got to talk to Paul. I got to ease Paul's mind for a second. The top 3 cuts in the offseason, we're going to be who, from your perspective, on the New York Jets? Okay? Now I'm going to wait. I'm going to read your answers, and I'm going to talk. I'm going to ease Paul. Paul's a good buddy. Right? Right, Paul? With a name like Paul Buttery, got to be friends with a guy named Buttery Paul. My blood pressure is perfect. I just went to the doctor last week, 120 over 81. I don't know how. All the crack I smoked, I don't know. Perfect. I don't know. So one thing we don't got to worry about. My colon, I don't know. Different story, Paul. Different story. Nothing happened to Max Mitchell, Julio. People are just saying Joe Douglas sucks, so that we got people defending him. That's what's going on. We're in a battle of wits and minds and philosophies. That's what we're doing. Drawing a blank. Come on, Ron. You know the deal. Let me see here. All right, send me back. Right. Ryan Rivera's got it. That's the top two. There's another one. We talk about it all the time. We talked about it all offseason. At the end of the season, going into free agency, we all had an idea. 1 and 2 were those guys Ryan put up there right now. That's number 1 and 2. They're both still here. And we're adding Aaron Rodgers. Robert Saleh came out this week. Did you hear what he said? Did you hear it? I'll tell you in a sec. Jets Forever says, right, Whitehead, Lawson, Corey. They're all still here. Hawks giving me the offensive line. Brown, Lakin, Avila, AVT, Becton. Right. Saleh said something about AVT too. If we can stay healthy, Joe Douglas's line, perfect. Now we had fucking Lakin. We got to see what else happened with that guy. I don't know what happened with him last year. But turns out he had a torn pec or something. I don't know, some shit. Something was going on with him. I don't know. Who knows? We always hear stuff after the season. Jet Life says, line will be fine. Rodgers going to, right. That's another thing, too. McNally says, Tomlinson, Whitehead. I hope. That wasn't what he thought. It was what he hoped. Right, I get it. Drawing a blank. Right, Davis, Lawson, Whitehead. It's going to be this. Lawson, man. Corey Davis. Well, look, we did sign Carmelo. We did sign Morstead, the punter, that filled in for Man when he was injured. So there's going to be a competition there. Now, who knows if he's here to replace him? There was word that Joe Douglas was actively talking trade with Braden Mann. Imagine he gets the 6 back. So who knows? Right? More will be revealed. But right, a lot of people had Braden Mann as a cut too because you save what, 1.3, 1.5, something like that. Paris says Carl Lawson, CJ Mosley, Jordan Whitehead. Another one. CJ Mosley, you save $21 million if you cut free. I forget, it's very low dead cap. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But he's here. Obviously, Super Leroy. Kevin Vaffadus, Carl Lawson, Jordan Whitehead, Braden Mann. See, look, we're seeing a theme here, right? Corey Davis, Whitehead, Lawson. Yeah, right, Paul? It is fucking great. Thank you, buddy. That's so funny. Literally perfect. Right. It's unbelievable. Every doctor I go to goes, huh? It's perfect. I'm like, yeah. It's who I am. Again, I got all kinds of mental issues. I'm a mess. My blood pressure ain't it. Whitehead, look at this. I was preaching for the Jets to draft Creed Humphrey. I liked Linderbaum too. But the thing is, I didn't want them to draft Linderbaum because I had other needs. And you know what I mean? There was a few centers that I would have liked later too. But yeah, man, I wanted Creed Humphrey. So look, again, just like last year, my draft would not have been Sauce, Wilson, JJ. My draft would have been Thibodeau, Devin Lloyd, George Pickens. Or Thibodeau, maybe Karlaftis, right? So one of those are likely Thibodeau at 4. So my draft would have been Thibodeau, if not Devin Lloyd, Kyle Hamilton, and then George Pickens. Man, fucking, it's more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I mean? But I'm very, very happy with what Joe Douglas did. But in the same way, in 2021, I wouldn't have traded up for ABT. I wouldn't have. But am I unhappy with the pick? No, but I wouldn't have. I would have sat where I was, maybe even traded back a pick or two if I could. I would have grabbed Creed Humphrey, kept my thirds. You know what I mean? It's just more than one way to do it. Doesn't mean one's right, but like usually what's going on is that I would have done this and the Jets did something completely asinine. Like they stacked another defensive tackle on top of Leo and Quinnen and whatever. That's what would have happened. All this, so that's different. I don't always agree with them. It's very true. So look, Lawson, Davis, Mosley, Lawson, Davis, Whitehead, Corey Davis, Lawson, Whitehead, Harry, Lawson, CD, right? It's the same thing. It's over and over and over. It's lazy turtle. I feel good about me, Cole Hardman, man. I like it. I love it? No. I like it though. I do. It's a very positive move. Like it's nonstop. So, right, definitely Corey Williams-Bragg, definitely Corey and Lawson. Also, Berrios. I was waiting to see Berrios, William. Thank you for saying he was on the list as well. And that happened. But so Robert Saleh came out at the league meetings and he said, they asked about, well, what's up with, Corey Davis, Carl Lawson, AVT. And he said, pass rushers don't grow on trees. Carl Lawson's going to be here for as long as he can walk. That's what he said. So like here we are, speculation, all of our off-season plans and everything, talking about, what we're going to do with the money we save when we cut Corey and Lawson and Whitehead, $7 million here, 10.5. You realize if you cut those, let's just say those 4 guys got cut. All right. You got 15 plus, let's just say 15 for Lawson, 10 for Corey Davis. Now it's also another one. So you got 25. CJ Mosley, that makes it 46. Jordan Whitehead, what's 6 and 7? 53. $53 million right there. Who can't you get with $53 million if you want it? Who? Mahomes? He didn't cut one of them. How the hell is that? Do we have a GM? No, I still happen to believe Corey Davis is in some sort of trade thing or whatever, but dude, I don't know, man. Starting to wonder. I know, Adam, the problem with CJ Mosley is that you can't renegotiate his contract within 1 year, 365 calendar days between his most recent restructure. So they needed the money last year. They restructured him, and they can't do it again so soon. So, but they can make a whole new contract. Maybe they're gonna. They're not paying anybody yet out of that contract yet. Right? The league just started. I mean, I don't know, maybe some. I don't know how it's broken down. Thomas Cahill checking in. Thank you, Thomas. So now we can trade down and pick up another second. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But did you see, Tom? I'll give him credit, even though I don't particularly like him. Rich Cimini put out an article a couple days ago saying that one of the reasons that the Jets don't want to give up 13 is because it's a draft sweet spot. Did you hear about this? It is tied with the number 1 overall pick for producing Pro Bowlers and All-Stars. Something. Maybe it's the Pro Bowlers, right? Yeah. 1 and 13 have 8. No, well, yeah, something like that. Forgive me, but it's like it's the second best pick in the whole draft behind 1. Crazy for hits. Crazy. So they know that. Joe Douglas knows that. He's like, I'm not giving you 13, dude. If you guys want the sweet spot, you're going to pay for the sweet spot. He's not giving it up. Now, I didn't know that. We could look into it, but who knows, right? Lucky 13, right here. That's the whole thing. Bradigan, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. It's good to see you, man. I hope you're feeling well, buddy. I hope you're feeling well, sincerely. Right. This is it. Piddly Poo's nailing it. So while we're all out here saying, Mosley, Lawson, Davis, Salah's saying, those are my centerpieces. Those are my key guys. Those are my culture guys. Those are the guys that when some bullshit goes on, they're the guys walking over to take care of it. You know who else is a culture guy? Sauce, Garrett, Quinnen. Dude, we have a strong roster, everybody. Yeah, that's it, right? He likes it. Maybe he's the new king of strain, Paris. Who knows? Who knows? Tony Alexio. Good morning, Tony. Good to see you. Thanks for your great shows. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome, man. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. This is fun. I'm going to go in a few minutes. I only got maybe 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to go. I got a lot to do today. I got to go to the hospital and a whole bunch of other shit. Let's see. GreenBean, Julio says, GreenBean, do you think we should bring in Odell after 2 ACL tears? Serious risk. Serious risk unless he's given an incentive. I know. I feel the same way. Look, I don't even like OBJ. I don't even want him. But again, our clubhouse is strong. It's not like OBJ is coming in and we got a bunch of punks that are going to flock to the OBJ, the church of OBJ. He's going to come in here and do what he does. He's going to do his OBJ thing, and they're going to let him and respect it, but he's not going to taint too many people. I was worried about Elijah Moore. That's who I was worried about the most. But let's say he comes. Just like Julio said here, he's got 2 ACL tears and hasn't played in over a year. It'll be a year and a half. By the time he suits up and runs onto the field, it's going to be a year and a half that he has not played professional football with 2 ACL tears. So, I mean, how much are you willing to give him? Maybe you give him $4 million guaranteed with the ability to go to 7? Something like that? Like he came out and said, I didn't say I wanted 20 million, but I'm not taking 4. Okay. Well, maybe don't take 4, but 4 guaranteed, and it can go to 7, 8, if you do X, Y, and Z. Because the fear is you bring him in week 6, he's done. Then what? Yes, you're missing a whole bunch. B. Cole. Are you the new J. Cole or are you really B. Cole? I'll treat you as if you are your own person until I know otherwise. Okay? Innocent till proven guilty. He says, so more a first, second, and a third. I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from. The rumor right now, B. Cole, is a second, which would be likely more, and a high pick, second, third next year. But with a 4th comes back if he doesn't play. That's the rumor. So that's a lot. If we gave them, so you're saying more would be pick 42. So pick 13, pick 42, and next year, like that's no way. Joe Douglas isn't doing that. Hit that like button. Give me those milk thumbs. Let's go, everybody, because I got to get out of here. Wilson. See, Eric says worried about Wilson. Theoretically, yes, I'm with you. But I don't know. I hold Wilson in a higher character category than that. I think Wilson he's here for his career, man. He's going to be the best. He's not going to let some drama get in his way. He knows how to hard work. He's been around divas before. You know what I mean? He's going to put his nose down and be the best fucking player on the field. That's what I think he's doing. Maybe I'm wrong, Eric. I don't know. But I see him as different than Elijah Moore. The only thing that could give you pause on that maybe is when he like kind of, remember when he was so pissed when Zach threw the ball like 10 yards over his head? Remember that? He's like, oh, he couldn't handle it. It's like, this guy is so bad. So Davis on the team or not, I think Davis is traded. That's what I think. That's my feeling. How's my Bell's palsy? It's gone, I think. Let's see. See, I can whistle. Remember, I couldn't. I'm good. Thanks for asking. So, all right, guys, let's see. After show, watch a Paul Esden short video from this morning. I will. Thank you, Huesot. Yeah. Yeah. Modine coming in with the wisdom. There he is. Everybody, clap for Modine. That's what he wants. Modine. You feel better? There he is. Guys, have a great rest of the day. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Hawk. Everybody, you guys are the best. Super Leroy. Let's see. Everybody, have a great rest of the day. I'm going to take care of some things here in New Jersey and then head to Florida, and we'll see what's going on. I got a lot going on around here. But you guys have a great rest of the day. What shall I play you? Let's see what we do here today. Let's see. Let's just do this. I don't know what this is. I'll give you this. Go ahead. I don't even know what it is. But guys, have a great day. I'll see you all tonight for the Talking Jets panel on Jets Talk 24/7 with Matt O'Leary and Ryan at 8 p.m. I'll see you all there. Have a great day.
I, being in Ohio, decided, hey, why don't we contact the Hall of Fame and see if we can't hang out with those folks for a few minutes? And guess what? They said yes. They let me in there, and they gave me really a red carpet welcome, man. It was extra special. I'm putting a full video out on Jetnation YouTube page, and we're going to have all kinds of little tidbits, but I want to show you what that looked like a little bit, man. As you guys know, we have a few guys in the Hall of Fame. We have the great Joe Namath and Don Maynard. We also have Kevin Mawai, Curtis Martin, and then we did a bunch of backdoor guys, kind of like what we're doing with Alan Faneca this year. Guys that their whole career wasn't Jets, or the majority of their career wasn't with the Jets, but they are Jets included.